Hello, and welcome to another episode of Breathe More. Since it's the end of the year, it's the perfect time for us to pause. I know things are really busy for folks, and before we know it, it's 2024. But for the last 3 years, I've been practicing with our special guest today, Aissa, taking a moment to look back at this year, to celebrate myself. Because I want y'all to think, when was the last time that you celebrated yourself? Like really sat down and acknowledged what you've accomplished, something good that happened, and really allowed yourself to receive that. Because you might have thought, like, yeah, okay, I'm proud of myself, but then moved on to, but I still haven't done this, or I'm still feeling in this. But really taking a moment to receive that self-love, that self-appreciation. If you're like most folks, you probably haven't done it in a really long time. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And I'm so excited to have Aissa here. Aissa and I, we've known each other for a long time from when I was acting. She's also an actress, but she's also an amazing happiness coach. And she helps people feel confident, also be in a state of joy. But no matter what's going on in their life, she teaches them how to access that so that the way that they're feeling isn't so much determined about the external stuff that's happening. And that's a really powerful and life-changing tool to have in your back pocket. So we're going to be learning more about that today. Welcome, Aissa. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much, Anna. That was such a beautiful intro. And as I was hearing you speak, your voice is so lovely. I was filling up with joy and like I was in a mini state of meditation. So
I
thank
love
you for
it.
that. Yes. And thank you for bringing me on your show. I'm just so excited to be here to spread the happiness and spread awareness of the happiness and celebrating our
Thank you. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit more. I mentioned that you're an actress, but what inspired you to also become a happiness coach?
My own personal journey to attain happiness within without having to rely on the externals, specifically as an actor, the booking, the success, the external validation, the awards, the financial gains. And when I realized in my life, at the time I was a dancer prior to being an actress, I wasn't getting where I wanted to be. And it wasn't necessarily my skill set. It wasn't that I did not have the agents or training because I had the great agents. I was training with the best. But there was something internally that was blocking me. And it was my own personal sensation of joy and confidence. I needed to feel within myself that I was able to shine in that arena, in the dance arena, which translates to the acting arena, which translates to any arena in life. I needed to feel that I could do it, that I was worthy, that I deserved it, that I was enough. So that was a key moment in my life where I was like, oh, something needs to change. And coupled with that, my health wasn't the most ideal for a dancer. I had a lot of injuries that were rotating and consistent, and I was in and out of physical therapy. And yes, it is normal for dancers to get injuries. But I thought to myself in those moments, it was one too many injuries, one too many months and years in physical therapy. Everything was just so prolonged. And it was a sign. My body was telling me something. It was saying, you're in pain because you need to slow down. You need to reassess. You need to give yourself some love. Stop beating yourself up. Stop allowing that negative chatter in your mind to consume you, the complaining that you have internally within yourself, the doubt, all those thoughts that consume you. Well, my body was consuming it. And the second
Yeah.
I decided to shift, everything started changing. I started feeling better. I started showing up differently. And then by then I was transitioning to an actor. But that was just my long-winded story. There's more to
Yeah.
that, but that's what it was. My health and my career wasn't where I wanted it to be, and I had to think outside the box. And I'm like, it's my mindset, it's my vibration. Something needs to shift internally. It's not the outside stuff. I need a change so that my external circumstances can change to my liking. So that's what started the journey.
I
Yeah.
I think a lot of people can relate to that because so much of our life we're taught to do, right? If I only get that degree, if I only get to that position, if I get promoted, if I get the bonus, all this doing. But there isn't a lot of conversation, unless you work with me or
Yeah.
Aissa, about
Mhm.
energy. Where, yes, it's important to take action and to do those things and to train. But a big component is the energy and the mindset
Mhm.
work. And so I celebrate you for recognizing, okay, I'm doing all this stuff. I'm with the best representation. I'm I'm taking all these classes, doing everything, yet it's still not clicking for me. What is missing? And you finally were able to identify, okay, first of all, my body's trying to communicate something like we're doing too much. And then also there's a mindset component that isn't aligned to where I think I want to go. But I also wonder, this is something I always ask my clients in my Dream Bigger Mastermind. It's like, is that still a goal that you want? Is that still a dream that you want to accomplish? Are you still holding on? I know I did it with acting for so long because you already invested so much money, so many years, so much training into something. And the thought of pivoting and doing something new feels like I just wasted all this time and energy and I can't do that. Or there's pressure of family or partner. And so we keep pushing, yet there's so much resistance. Like we're not getting the results. And there's so much power when we pause and recognize, is there a different approach that I can have to this? Or is it even time to just let it go and see what else unfolds? And so it sounds like from that's where your acting career came from and you being a coach who's guiding other people through this. What a beautiful
Thank you.
gift.
Yes, I agree. I believe that my entire journey, which has led to this very moment, was on purpose. I'm very grateful for it because if those things wouldn't have happened, I might not have stepped into acting. I might not have created Happy Mindsetter, which is my coaching business. Who knows where life would have taken me, and it maybe could have taken me to another beautiful lane and something great. But this is the greatness it led me to. So I honor that and I respect that. And I'm a firm believer that everything works out for us and not to us. Even the pain we
Yeah.
feel in our bodies, even the hardships that we endure, they do work out for us if we allow them to, because there's always the opportunity within those experiences to grow and to heal. Healing is very important. Forgiving yourself for your past mistakes and just loving yourself unconditionally.
And being in that place puts you in a position of power because you're not in that state of victim where life is just happening to you. I was there for a long time and so frustrated, and I don't understand why this person is booking all these jobs and I'm following all the directions and I'm wearing the clothes that they're telling me to. And I took all these workshops and it's still not working. It's like, okay, well, that isn't like blaming other people, feeling jealous. That doesn't serve me either. And so when I started to recognize, like, what's my part in it? What's my energy going into these auditions? Am I showing up all annoyed? For all of you who you're like, I'm not an actor. How can this relate to me? It's like, what's your energy when you're submitting that resume? Like you're saying that you want a new job. I always tell my clients, I'm like, what is your intention when you hit send on that resume? And they tell me, I want that job. So then why are you surprised when you're not getting the interviews? That piece of information, I think it's so powerful. And then you get to decide, like, okay, well, I'm recognizing that I actually don't want to go in that industry anymore, or maybe I want a break. So, can you take actions to allow yourself to have what you truly have? And then, as Aissa just said, like all this other magic starts to unfold when we give ourselves the space and are conscious and present in what we really want to create for
And
ourselves.
may I add something to that? I find it fascinating and so empowering to know that we can truly control the outcome of our lives when we choose to change internally with our mindset and our vibration. It can be easier to fall into the victim mindset because our brains likes to default to the negative, it seems. It's just so easy
Mhm.
as a society as a whole to do the complaining, to do the overthinking, to do the doubt, the bashing. It takes an extra intentional step of effort to say, I'm actually going to choose the positive aspect instead. And it takes attention, it takes energy. But once you realize the benefits of shifting your energetic state and your mindset, to me, it's wow, like I get to control my life. My life is not controlled by others. That is fascinating. That is so fascinating to me because I have heard the other side of that. It may not be as empowering because now you're self blaming your thoughts for all the bad that's happening. And so then sometimes some people can get stuck. Well, my thoughts keep cycling me into a negative space, a negative vibration. And it's more challenging for them to realize that if their thoughts can have a negative effect on them, it can also have a positive effect on them. And that gives them the power and like that warrior mindset to shift. But sometimes we got to really hone in on that and make that choice within ourselves, as challenging as it may be, to take that step to start changing.
It's really hard if you're in a loop of negativity, it's really hard on your own to get out of that. That's why
Weakness.
I recommend working with people like us. There's so many other tools as well, but yeah, as you said, our brain loves drama. It loves problems. It loves
Because it's keeping
negativity.
us safe.
But in our adult lives, that's not really helpful. And so it is important to start to become aware. Like step one, I believe in the healing journey is the awareness. And once you're able to start to notice when you're going back to your trauma response, when you're going into that loop of negativity, of self loathing, how can you create a disruption in that brain pattern that's going on so that we can start to shift the way we're viewing it? And a way to do that, that Aissa actually is going to be hosting a workshop in my membership, The Collective, next week. And a very simple way to do that is by looking at your accomplishments, like what you're proud of. What have you done recently? What can you celebrate about yourself? And it's important as well when doing the reframing work that we don't swing the pendulum to the other extreme. If today you're in a place where you're feeling really low, and let's just say the example, like you're not feeling beautiful. So you've been in a place where you think you're ugly, you're not happy with your weight or whatever, to all of a sudden switch your minds into try to say, I'm beautiful, your mind is going to reject it as a lie,
Yes.
right? So inching towards that would be something like, even though I'm not in my ideal weight right now, I really love my eyes, or I love my eyelashes. They're such a beautiful feature. People always, you can always say as well, like what compliments you tend to get from people. So people always tell me that they like my smile. So,
Yes.
just like starting to like baby
Yes.
steps in the reframing so that we're starting to build a new neurological pathway in your brain, but also you're starting to get a new habit of talking to yourself in a kinder way. So let's talk about celebrating oneself and why most people don't do it. We already touched on brain loves drama. That's like reason number one. What are some other reasons why people tend to not celebrate or acknowledge their
So I
accomplishments?
briefly touched on that, coincidentally, on what I just spoke about just now, about making that deliberate choice of shifting to the positive. Sometimes it is difficult to make that intentional choice to sit down with your journal and write down your wins and acknowledge them because we have not set up the habits to do so. Our habits sometimes are default to that negativity. So that's what our brain and our body knows. So we continue on life with that type of vibration. Life continues. We're adults, things happen, and we don't create the space. So it's lack of discipline of not doing it. That's one reason why there may not be opportunities given to yourself to celebrate your wins. Another can be acknowledging how important it is. You might be unaware of the awesomeness that happens in your brain and in your body and with your confidence and with your motivation when you take a moment to acknowledge your daily tiny wins. You may be totally unaware of how great it is. I would say, and a third reason would be you take it for granted. You just take it for granted. You're so focused on the big win, on the goals, on getting to your destination. You're speeding through life and not slowing down. So you're taking your life for granted. You're not taking a pause for yourself. So I think those are some of the reasons why folks don't do it. Or they might even think it's silly. And to add to that, when you're habituated to living just to live life, you're doing all the things, you're not pausing, you're rushing, you're not acknowledging yourself, you're not aware, you're negative Nelly in your mind. For you to jump from that vibration and that pattern of thought and the emotions that those patterns of thought emanate in your brain and the feelings that they release into your body, when you're used to that, to jump over to feeling good, to feeling grateful, to feeling proud, to feeling confident, that is foreign for you. It might even feel yucky at first
Super uncomfortable.
because you have
Yeah.
to break a barrier, like this internal like energetic barrier from the stuckness to the, "Oh, I am actually good. Like I'm kind of cool. Wow, I did that. Oh, wow, I actually got more stuff done. I actually did really good at that. I accomplished more than what I thought." To go into that mindset, you got to break that energetic internal barrier within you. And that can be yucky and hard if you're not used to jumping into the pool of happiness. So, those are all the reasons I think we don't, as a society, as a world, make it into our daily practice to account for our daily wins.
I think also as a society, this type of confidence and acknowledging your wins, it's been labeled as being conceited
Oh, yeah.
and selfish. And so there's this stigma of judging someone because they're acknowledging, like, hey, I did something that I'm really proud of. I know for me in my personal life, like I have been labeled as you're vain, you're this. And it's like, all I'm doing is just being myself. I don't view myself as better than anyone. I'm just recognizing, hey, what I did was hard and I took a lot of effort and investment, and I'm really proud of this accomplishment. That's it. If you're interpreting it as a different way, that's your own shit.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think especially for women, it's not something that we are encouraged to do because it has been labeled as, oh, that person is conceited and they have a big head and big ego. And that's also really detrimental.
If it were me, I would have all of us, since well, we're little and can start to understand the feeling of winning and feeling good, to start self validating and self congratulating and writing down what we did good for the day. What did we accomplish? And go into the feeling of it, not just write it down and let it go. Actually, take a second to relish in those specifics and those details of what that tiny win is.
And doing a practice like this as well brings you to the present moment because so many of us are living in the past and in the future. And it's rare the time that we're just in the now. If we were just in the now, you would probably feel calmer, happier, grateful, healthier, because it's what's in front of you, as opposed to all the other stuff that our mind tends to be thinking about. So, we just addressed why it's challenging for folks to celebrate themselves. But for those of you listening, you're probably wondering, why should I even do this practice? Life is okay. I'm not sitting down and writing down, oh, I'm proud of myself because I made dinner tonight or I did my steps. Like, why does this work even matter,
Okay,
Aissa?
I will have to start by saying if you are the person that is okay with living an okay life, then hey, maybe this conversation is not for you. Now, if you're the person that wants to live the magnificent, the abundant, the exhilarating, the fulfilling, the happy, motivating, energizing life that all of us in this world have the capability to tap into, then you are our jam. Like, this is your cup of tea, right? Celebrating our wins allows us to have more self confidence within ourselves. When we have more self confidence within ourselves, then we're going to push ourselves even more, to push our limits, to break our boundaries, to go further. It's going to give us more self motivation. Self motivation allows us to become more curious, to try out new things, to be open to new possibilities, to take further action. And it also activates the reward circuit of our brain that will release dopamine. And that emotion is going to feel so good in our bodies that we're going to become addicted to the process, to our journey, because now we are realizing, like, hey, this actually feels really, really good. I want more of that. I want to be rewarded more consistently. So now I'm going to do more of that, of whatever made me feel good, that tiny win. I'm going to do more of that. So now instead of living your life good, okay, getting by, you're really living in the present moment, moment to moment, enjoying what you are doing and creating new patterns of thought in your mind that you are confident, that you can feel internally motivated, that you are good enough. You're self congratulating, you're self validating. You're not waiting for someone to give you the high five or the bouquet of roses. You're giving yourself your own bouquet of roses. You're giving yourself your own high five, your own pat on the back, your own hug to feel good. So that makes you such a powerful human being. So, with that type of mindset and energy, how are you not going to show up for yourself and truly complete and fulfill those goals that you have to your fullest extent? And what's great about also celebrating those tiny wins, our journey on the way to our goals, we're no longer dependent on our goals to fulfill us because that's fleeting. The high that we feel from our goals, while it's fun and great, and yes, we want to really celebrate the big completion of our goals, that energy, if it's not backed up and reinforced with true confidence and true self worth and true enoughness, it's going to deplete. Then you're going to feel empty and you're going to be like, oh, what's the next goal? Because I'm not, I'm no longer happy anymore. And then you're back on this, like, trying to get happy and feel worthwhile about yourself again. Versus you can feel worthwhile and whole and complete and full and happy all the time.
I love that. I think also as well, if you are starting from a place of maybe being more in victim mode or in a negative mindset loop, doing this practice of celebrating yourself and recognizing your wins, whether they're big or small. Also, you're creating a list of evidence for your brain. So, any moment where you perhaps are starting to doubt, your energy starting to contract, you can reference this list again and recognizing, you know what? I'm someone who knows how to do hard things. I'm someone who's brave. I'm someone who doesn't give up just when things get hard. I'm someone who asks for support. I know how to receive. And that will help you as well more quickly get out of that, let's just say, contraction, because you're able to resource like what your truth is really at your core. So it's such a really powerful, life changing, as you were talking about it. Like, I just envision people who practice this, like, truly being magnetic. When you love yourself so much, when you believe in yourself so much, when you celebrate all those small things that you do, like, your energy is just vibrating in such a high frequency that that also allows for more instant, quickly
Yes,
manifestations.
yes. And we have to realize that all of us have the power to be magnetic. This is not reserved for the one percenters. This is for the whole world. Doesn't matter who you are, you have the power within you to shine and step into any arena and just be a light of energizing force that calls in more abundant opportunities, resources, people, experiences to you. And the great thing about celebrating our wins, we're giving ourselves that self love that we may not have received as a child. But now, as an adult, we are conscious enough to understand that we can give it to ourselves. So we're doing healing and we're also living in gratitude. It's important when we acknowledge our wins to go a little one step further and be grateful for them. So now, when you're living in this energy of gratitude, you're understanding you're enough, you're confident, you're giving yourself self love. Talk about your manifesting abilities and powers. They're right there because now you're aligning to the frequency of abundance of all the greatness that you want because you're elevating yourself up.
Give us like one simple thing that people can do today to start to cultivate more self appreciation, celebration, love,
Write down one thing that went well today. Just one thing. One thing that went well.
and make this a daily
Make it a
habit.
daily habit. Yes. I do this exercise at nighttime, personally, the what went well at nighttime. So you go to sleep in that nice, grateful vibration. And what also it's training you to do, start off with one. Let's make it simple. Everyone can find one thing that went well. This exercise is teaching you to look for the good, to really seek out what made you smile, what made you grow. So it starts changing your mindset to a mindset of a can do attitude, a mindset of positivity, of abundance. So then over time, you'll be able to go throughout your day and focus on the good on every aspect of your days.
I think it also brings in more possibility, right? Because if every day you're doing this practice of what you created, what you accomplished, then it feels like anything is possible once you set your mind to it. So I love that practice. I do it as well every single day in my gratitude journal, and it's really helpful. I do get lazy sometimes, though, with the good things. I go more into this is what I'm grateful for, but it really is such powerful medicine that we take for granted. And again, it allows us to just come back to this present moment. And also, I think it helps us to increase our capacity to receive. If you're in the moment, just recognizing, hey, I did this today, allowed myself to receive this compliment. I did this something nice for myself. I treated myself well. I ate a healthy meal. Like all of that also is an example of receiving, which tends to be another challenge for a lot of people. So Aissa is going to be hosting on Monday, December 4th, a end of the year self-celebration workshop in the collective. All of you are welcome to join. This is her third time facilitating this workshop. It's become our yearly transition in the collective. And it's so powerful. I love doing it. Tell us a little bit more about what we can expect in this workshop.
You can expect doing a deep dive into the year and really reflecting on your accomplishments, on your goals achieved, your milestones reached, your actions taken. We break down the year into quarters, which allows it to be more manageable. And you're just going to sift and sort through your calendars, maybe your Instagram post, and really go back down memory lane of everything that made you smile, that you are proud of. So we're going to start with that accomplishment and really celebrating ourselves for it. Like, wow, like we did this. Then we're going to go into a self-congratulatory letter where we're going to really amplify our positive self-talk for ourselves. We're going to write to ourselves this beautiful self-congratulatory letter congratulating ourselves for a job well done. And we're going to use beautiful words that are fulfilling and loving and joyous to fill ourselves up with self-love. So we do that. After we continue amplifying the joy, we really want to amplify this vibration and we dance because we're celebrating ourselves. There's our celebratory dance. Like we did it.
We embody the
Yes.
energy.
We really open ourselves up to our higher selves. After that, after we've looked back throughout the year and we've closed that chapter with our big dance celebration, we're going to go into a new year visualization meditation. So, now what are the goals that we want for the new year? And what are we going to release? What are the blocks we're going to let go of so we can step into the new year feeling clear, feeling open and whole? So then we embody that energy of confidence, of being magnetic. So when we come out of the meditation, we go into a new year promise statement where once again, where we will write a promise statement to yourself. What are you going to promise to yourself for the new year? And you'll write that. So then you'll finish with amazing tools to reflect back on. You'll have your blueprint of how you want to be, what you want to accomplish, how you want to show up for 2024. And then you'll have your compilation of all your accomplishments that you completed in 2023 to really help you boost your confidence and motivation. So that's what we'll do. Yeah,
Such a great
yeah, it's great.
exercise to end the energy of this year, right? To really just wrap things up. Because a lot of times I feel like people continue to take maybe energies that they've outgrown or people or whatever into the new year and they're just continuing to go. But this pause of really just reflecting, celebrating, letting go, and then starting to visualize the new year. What a powerful and beautiful gift for yourself.
And
So
also what I
excited.
really love about it is that you're left with something tangible. The New Year
Yeah.
promise statement, that is a great tool for anyone to reference throughout the year when they start feeling that their energy's shifting, where their mindset is getting a little wobbly. They go back to their promise statement and start reciting, reminding themselves and declaring to themselves and the universe, what did I promise to myself? And that's going to support you to shift back to a space of more groundedness and more confidence. So then you feel secure that you are set up for success for the year 2024.
So all of you listening, we can't wait to see you on Monday, December 4th, 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. If you can't attend live, you still get the recording, so there's no excuses in case you're not available. And before we wrap up, Aissa, any last words, encouragement, tips that you want to share with our listeners?
I would love everyone to acknowledge and truly understand that their happiness lives within them and it's available to them whenever they're ready to tap in.
So good. Make sure you follow Aissa on Instagram. What is your handle?
Happy mindsetter.
Super easy. And we have all the information on the show notes. Aissa also has a free giveaway for all of you. Can you let us know about that?
Yes, it's the happiness cheat sheet that gives you 6 simple, efficient exercises you can do first thing in the morning to shift your vibration. You don't have to do all 6. Maybe you do 1 every 7 days,
So
or maybe you do 2 out of the 6. But nonetheless, they're going to ground you and they're going to inspire you and support you in starting your day with a happy mindset.
love it. Thank you, Aissa.
Thank you for having me. It was fun.
You're welcome. Celebrating all of you listening. Think about one thing in this moment that you're proud of, something you accomplished. Feel that energy in your body. Breathe into it. I think it's also going to help you just feel more relaxed and open. Beautiful gift for yourself as we're ending this year. So let's go out and do that. Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll be in touch real soon. Bye.
Bye.